Here we are again at the Jana Show. The Jana Show is gaining its popularity every day, and thank you, viewers, for your love and affection here. And here we are again with Anshu Khare. And Anshu, as we know, that she takes care of the youth and the parents who bring them up in a very energized way. So, Anshu, today we want to ask you that, do you have any real life cases, where you can show or, you can share the um, experiences, through those cases here at our show?
Jyoti, thank you to welcome me to Jana Show, and it's always good to be back in the show to really share more about the experiences and the case studies, because that's how we learn mutually. And as you rightly said, I do have certain case studies in my mind today, which I really want to share with the audience. And as you rightly said, that youth and parents, and you see that it's a journey, when as parents also, because most of us didn't undergo that kind of a training, or are made to learn how to be parents. It's a gradual process, and just by seeing our parents we become parents, and there's no formal education also tagged to it, and everything we learn is out of our mistakes. And when a child is born, of course, there are few emotions as parents, as new parents we have, and then a new situation which comes up while our child is growing. And we sometimes we don't know how to deal with. Sometimes we have our own mutual reactions to the situation, how we are born and brought up in the surrounding situations. And that's what I want to talk today in my case study, where a child feels shy. And I would even say that overconfident or something, but then they're able to take more challenging risk, which is also a kind of a dangerous situation. So when I talk about the child who feels shy, first and foremost, I would urge the parents that you should take a pause and don't put your anxiety level or a kind of a pressure onto a child. Why? Because your anxiety would actually impact and affect the child more than whatever he or she is facing already. So don't start blaming. So anxiety level, how it comes up, that you might have seen situations where somebody comes up at your home, and now you want the child to greet the person who has visited your house in certain way, and you will say, "Beta, say namaste," or say hi, or say hello to the uncle or the aunt, and the child is shying away. Maybe there are various reasons of he or she being shy away. Maybe the child is awestruck by the beautiful uncle or aunt who has visited that place, or maybe because of that kind of a feeling where they have seen somebody in their house for the first time. So don't ridicule or just say that why you are not saying anything, why are you shying away, or maybe post the uncle aunt visit has happened, don't just go and bully your child, just leave it over there. But rather, at your off time, try to address it through stories, through how good manners may mean or bring happiness to the others, how if they will greet may bring more friends to them, rather than just where they feel like they are getting blamed for not greeting anybody. So rather than making them ashamed for your anxiety level that, oh, your child cannot greet. So nobody will take that kind of a perception, because everybody knows that you have a small child. So that's the first thing. Second, even and addressing to the shyness only, empathize with your child, and in a way where you are aware of the situation, and it's okay to be in that situation of discomfort. And I will take you back as parents, if you are listening, I'll take you back to the situation or the scenario where you were in college and your professors might have told you that there's a kind of a surprise test today, how you might have felt? Discomfort, or maybe some butterflies in your stomach. And that's an emotion, you see. Shyness is also an emotion. When that happens to a child for the very first time, just take it as a reaction and a response to the situation. So rather than, just putting your anxiety or blame on a child, just see that how many times the situation has happened in his or her life. And if it is for the first time, keep on telling your child how to behave in social situation, and tell them the social skills basically, you know, and an effective way of dealing with those. So that's where I would urge parents that it's okay, and don't press it hard on children. And it's just an emotion, you see. uh, how we face a lot of emotions, like a feeling of discomfort. If you have wore a shoe which is small in size and your feet have grown, it'll always itch, right? It's an emotion that there will be a feeling of discomfort. So treat this kind of or address shyness in your child in such a way. And before I continue with the case study, I hope, Jyoti, this has served the purpose and established a kind of a platform of our discussion, right?
Absolutely, yes. This is a very valid, point what you're discussing. That a lot of parents go through this problem, when their child is shy. But, what is coming in my mind about this, Anshu, that is it the home atmosphere, or is it coming from the schooling, or is it coming from any other environment, or is it genetic, or is it a child's behavioral problem? Where does it crop up from, basically?
So after reading a lot of material which is available, after becoming a parent myself, looking at my friends, a few of my case studies, basically, I realized some of it is genetic, of course, as the study says. Some of it is gradually passed on to from the surrounding environment in which a child is born and brought up. And why I'm saying, because see, as a child, they just observe you and imitate you. So even as a husband or a wife, if with whomever that child is spending a lot of time, if they see a kind of a hesitation in certain call or certain decision making, they will imbibe that gradually. Okay, if they are not going to the school yet, but if they are going to school and they have friend circle where they think a lot before doing something or taking or making certain advances towards a certain situation, then that kid is going to react in certain way. Why? Because he or she is mingling with those kind of kids who are little shy in nature, and think a lot. And I won't say that shyness is bad. It's a positive attitude also. Initially, it was thought to be a negative in nature, but right now they are saying that there's a mutual benefit also, because these kids are more receptive to their environment. They are more able to see the situation in a certain way, which otherwise a person who's like overly active may not see a situation in a certain way. And that's why I said that I will even cover two kinds of kids, where the kid is over smart and doesn't realize the factor of danger, and he will just go away. While on the other hand, this kid who is shy will think twice. Maybe a parent may feel, and this is one of my case study where one of my friend, her kid was very shy, and that poor chap used to sit and just look at her mom. For each of the instruction she will say, and then he will make that advance or make a move. Even if she used to say go, she has to say it twice, in order for a child to really understand and take that conscious call that my mama is saying me to really go ahead. And rather, I have seen my own child where I will even not say go ahead, and he will go. He wants to really venture out. He wants to really see new things. And that's what the difference is. My fear was that, what if he enters into a zone which is a kind of a danger, for him, because he had just started to walk. And over here, the problem is that the child may not be aware of the problem which he may encounter. But yes, it's okay, unless and until it's too critical a kind of a situation, let them fall down where they are not hurt very badly, and then learn from it for those child who are very active. But then for those kids who are very shy, you have to be with them in order to make them understand how you actually train a child, when they want to ride a bicycle for the first time. And I'm not saying tricycle over here, I'm saying bicycle, okay? And why I'm saying, taking this as an example, because unless and until the child practices it multiple times, he will not be confident sitting on the bicycle and riding on his own. You may have to hold him from the back certain amount of time and for a certain period of time, unless and until you as a parent is okay of leaving him from behind, so that he can take that ride of his own without falling down. And that's the beauty of how the example of a bicycle has served a purpose in varied set of example. And this is the example I want to really share this with the audience in this context of shyness, that even if the child is going to any social circle, or if he's starting a kind of a new school, keep on telling a child that now you will go to a new school. Now I will not be dropping you. You will be going by bus. And there you will meet a lot of several other kids like you. And there will be big boys or small, and how you can make friends and be with them. You have to keep on telling them, whisper with them, talk to them whenever you are going to bed, or whenever you have free time you spend with them. Why? Because that will equip them mentally that, okay, this situation is on my way and this is going to happen. So even we have seen it that, it really takes 21 days to inculcate a habit. So at least give that kind of a time to your child to really decipher that he or she is shy, and absolute shy. And it's okay. With each emerging situation, he or she will feel shy. That's okay. Because that's a positive trait also, because your child is looking at the situation in much more depth than what you are looking at. So my only point is, give them a certain time frame with certain situation, and then draw inferences. And don't just, with different circumstances, different situation and different example, if he feels shy, don't just quote him as feeling shy. That's what my request to the parents is.
So in such scenarios, Anshu, I would like to know that, do you think it's more of a work with the parents, or is it more of the work with the children? And if whatever, the amount of work it has to be done, do the children come first to cater to, or is it the parents? Or does it go simultaneously for them?
It's first the person from whom a kind of a negative response or an anxiety is coming in that kind of a situation. So anxiety mostly comes from parents or the caregiver. Why? Or the teachers, or the professors. Why? Because this question is very famous. Why certain things are not happening in a way they want, So we need to, as parents also, as teachers, as caregivers, we need to understand how we have behaved when we were in that situation. We might have absolutely forgotten also. And so is the case for your child. So right now we just remember because now we are seeing him. But if we go back to our parents and ask how we used to behave, maybe they might have a similar view over it. That yeah, you used to behave like this, beta. And yeah, we have come a long way, but then gradually it had gone. And that's where, because of the growing technology and everything, where shorts are available, the customer, if you want to focus on something which is new, it's only 20 seconds. And that's where you want to deliver your message very clearly and loudly to the audience. So it's not about those 20 seconds. It's about like 20 to 21 days where you gauge your child. You give them enough time. It's not a YouTube short or something which will just, behave in a way you want. It's not a robot also. It's not chat GPT or something, where you just make them learn the machine language and they will respond to your questions the way you want.
As the transformations do take time, right?
Of course, you have to give them time. It's a human being. That's what I'm saying. It's not a robot. It's not an IC chip which you just take an artificial intelligence and plug and play it. It is a child. They are child. They are human beings. We all are human beings, and even at our most critical situations where we feel awkward, we will either feel shy, we will either feel nervous, or we may even procrastinate for known or unknown reason for being in that situation. Why? Because we are adults. We'll not feel shy maybe, but we'll procrastinate. Why? Because we are not comfortable doing that. So we have a different way of dealing with the situation, but the child does not have. And so they will feel shy. They'll just hold your feet. They don't want you to go away. And certain apparent things which I now really love.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Any other questions related to this topic? So
yes, Anshu. So I think it's a very great start, and you made me realize, because I am also one of the person who's shy, and not as an adult also I'm shy. It's not that only at the time of when I was a kid I was shy. So yeah. So one thing
you've improved a lot. You're no more shy now. You cannot take yourself into a category of being shy anymore.
yeah, truly. Yeah. So it only because I have practiced it, and now I'm becoming more extrovert. So one question which I think I want to ask Anshu is, in case if you have a situation at home like this, yes, you recommended that we should spend so much time, we should make them understand. But is there a technique, or is there a real way to impart that knowledge? Because sometimes even the parents also do not know what needs to be told to the child so that they can learn from it. So do you have something like that which can be shared with the parents, which they can try and inculcate to their kids so that they learn and come out of the situation, or maybe improve? May not be come out and straight away, but
yeah, very, very right question, Neerav, because sometimes what we do is we normally say it aloud. Because we are adults, we have that authority, and we say that, oh, my kid is very shy. And they also know, and they hear it, that my father or mother has really told me as, I'm being shy, and maybe, and I don't know how children think, and for how long this thought of that they being shy keeps on hammering their head. And a certain other situation also similar to the nature which they have seen in their life for the first time happens, and they're again shy, and then they make this a kind of behavior which is synonym to them. Unconsciously they make this a kind of an habit. So over here, an urge to the parents is, please do not say this to your child directly. If you have felt, if you in private, as parents have spoken about it, make it a point to give your child enough of those situations and be with them. Just handhold with them, be with them, talk to other kids, take them out, talk to other kids. If they are not willing to really go out, be with them for some time, take them daily. And I'm sure if you will, for a week's time, if you will go and be with the kids outside together with them, they will only want that space, and they will say that, Papa, I see my friends coming alone all together, and please, you do not accompany. It's just a play area near the building, and I'm okay to go alone. I bet on that. Why? Because when they see other kids coming alone and you accompanying, it's a gradual mind shift which happens in the child, and they want to really copy those kids which are there, who are there. However, you will accompany just to give them a kind of a confidence that, don't worry, I am here. And that unknown support or confidence will really work in their field. And I tell you why I have learned, how I have learned this. Again, I'll take back during my athletic days, and I wanted to do this slow cycling, So cycling we all have done, bicycle we all have ridden, but there was a sport which got introduced in our sports day known as slow cycling. And the person who is going to cycle at the lowest speed and be there on the field last would be the first one. And you know what? I used to sit with my bicycle, and I wanted to be in that game. But yeah, fast riding is, I would say, easier than, you have to really paddle your bike at a slow rate. It requires a kind of your mental focus and your body focus with your bicycle. I used to just sit with my bicycle, and I used to just say to myself, as if the bike is a living being, that I want to do this, I want to do this. And you know what, I was a champion. I used to, for a second or 2 to 3 seconds, I used to be just still in one place without moving my bike from the position I was in. So that's what I'm saying. Even if you talk to a machinery like this, you are able to do, then what we are doing is taming kids. So just hold them, be with them. Even if you don't want to whisper or tell them that you are shy, just be with them, accompany them, and there will be tremendous change. And this is, I know for sure, I normally run a kind of a program where I invite such kids and even youths to be part of those kind of discussions with me, where they just open up, and forgetting whatever this shyness or whatever stuff we call in our own terms. But yes, if in case you feel that you would gain more or from by talking to me, you're most welcome and enroll for my program. And you can direct DM me or connect with me. But of course, if this is something which a parent can handle first, I would really urge parents to do this with their kids.
That is great. Thank you so much. And in fact, while you were explaining the situation, I remember my son recently. I mean, I generally go and drop him to the school and even pick him up. And this year, he's saying, when he goes to the next standard, he's saying, no more dropping. I'm going in the bus. My friends are there. So I just really relate it, like how you were saying that after 6th day, the kid will start asking, please don't come.
Yes.
I'll go alone. So.
And I even want to highlight one more thing, because my tagline says about inculcating confidence or unleashing confidence in the youth and kids. But I'll tell you, shyness and confidence are two different things. I want to even clear that kind of a myth, if in case parents have, because if shyness is a different factor altogether, and situations which I already stated how and why it happens. But when it is related to confidence, and even if you feel that your kid is shy, but then they will have a kind of an inclination to one of their hobbies or skills which they are more confident on, and you can just make that kind of a difference, that they are more confident when they are doing certain hobbies or skills or pursuing some kind of elocution or even extempore. So even if they are doing those kind of participating in elocution or extempore, you will see that kind of a difference, that no, my child is not shy. So those are, again, a kind of checks you can do for your child internally and not telling them.
Yes,
Great.
thank you so much for telling that, because this is like an eye-opener for me. I always overreact, and I always scold my kid like that I was doing. And one day, what my husband told to me is, don't be like that. Let him be like whatever he wants to do. Let him do that. Don't restrict too much. Don't overcare. He told me like that, and I'm there for him. If he falls, then also I'm there for him to lift him up. Don't be overreactive or over caring, because it hampers, in some or the other ways, it hampers the activeness of that child. And that day I realized, and I started changing my things. okay, what are the things I used to do with my kid, I started changing it consciously after that. And what you said is absolutely true. If the child is shy at some point, he is confident and at some other point. We have to recognize the positive things in our kids, and we have to encourage them to do more rather than concentrating on what are the things they are feeling shy about or something else. Okay,
Correct.
yeah. Thank you
And
so
it
much
is
for
also, as Anusha, you rightly said, but it is also important as a parent, if you have realized that he's shy with certain things, to address it so that it doesn't remain a kind of an unexplored territory for them for future, even when they become youth, you know. So
Yes, in these days, they will show these kind of things like shyness and all, one or two times. But if we are telling it again and again, they will make it as a fixed character. Okay, this is my character, and I'm like that only. They will just argue with us also. I'm like that only. Why are you telling this to me? They might come up with these kind of things in the future. And yes, what you said is true. We have to concentrate on the points where they are confident and they are very very much interested in.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you so
And,
much.
and just one more point, as per what you have discussed, don't give them that cover, because if you'll give them that cover which says an emotion called shyness, they will use it when they want to use it. You take it from me, and then they will manipulate also. So bring them out of it. Don't give that cover of manipulation in future, because I know as they advance in age, certain things it just gets wiped off. So don't take stress as parents.
So thank you so much, Anshu, for today's insights, and they're always helpful for this complete Jana Show and the viewers. And we are really happy to have you here again. And the summary today is that, give them the cushion, give them a feeling that you've got their back, as parents. But don't even give them too much of liberty also, and the cover and the shield, as you said, of shyness, and they're too smart to play the games behind them. And yes, the shyness, you can just pinpoint it at a very early stage, and how you have to deal with it, you can go with the time. And there are techniques and tools which Anshu Khare has, and one can join the program, and you can definitely overcome this shyness in a child, and which will not help in his or her development for the entire life, and which has to be recognized at an early stage. So this is what we gather from this show today. Thank you so much, Anshu.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And it's always, a kind of a constructive session. And I hope you got the value from the case study which I shared.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.